What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday Night Live in the house. I'm going to do a quick audio check. Make sure that everything here is working out well. Give everyone a moment to arrive. Let me see if this is working. Make sure that everything here is working out well. Yeah, sound good. Let me know how you're all doing tonight, where you're all tuning in from. I'm going to use my Facebook on my phone to try to see the comments. Trying out a new thing today. It's called StreamYard. It's a new program. It's letting me stream on multiple platforms. So we're giving this a test run. Hopefully it works. So yeah, send me some comments, say what's up. Let me see. Oh, I got it. I could see a comment. Okay. StreamYard doesn't tell me who's writing to me, so you got to say your name. Say, hi, it's blank, and then say your message. A little bit annoying. Maybe I will find another way to do this. Let me know how you're going. If you have any questions, any things you want to talk about. Look a little bit scattered between my trying to find comments on my phone and looking at the screen. Ah, what's up, Mary Beth? See, it was so easy. How's the music? We're trying out some music. Oh, Gail. Okay, it shows me your name. How's the music, everybody? Is this good music? Too loud? It's ending as I ask that question. What's up, Phil? Music is great. Awesome. It comes with the program. It's called Feeding the Ducks. For whatever reason. It's really soft. You can't hear it. I can turn up a little bit. I can hear it really loud. How's that? Music, good? Good volume? Too loud, too soft, just right? Are we in the Goldilocks zone? I'll listen. Let me see what's happening here. Are we in the Goldilocks zone? Just right, yeah, that sounds good. Okay. So what's up, everybody? Happy to be back. Another Tuesday Night Live. I was just looking, this almost looks like a gray. Am I going gray down here? Sheesh. I tell you, 40 is not 30. I'm really happy to be able to show up on these Tuesday nights for y'all, to reconnect to my virtual community across the globe, to bring some more healing energy, to just kind of give some love. I want to acknowledge those of you who have been tuning in and following my journeys for the past multiple years, and for those who I was really deep with in Facebook world back during the pandemic when everything was moved virtually. Now that I am settled here in Los Angeles and feeling good about myself, my situation, and I'm teaching at different places. I'm working at an outpatient center, so I'm working with people that have moderate to severe challenges. We actually just had a round today where we discussed what is the best way to actually talk about all this. And every human being is going through different challenges. Some people just need some extra support. So I'm at an outpatient center with people that need a little extra support for now in this little period of their lives. And I've kind of, realized that I'm supporting a lot of people in person in LA, and I really wanted to again show up and begin holding this space for those of you who were not local to this area. And so here we are. Tuesday Night Live was born. It's like Saturday Night Live, but funnier. Is my tagline. Might think of a better one. It's like Saturday Night Live, but heelier. I had a little plan for this evening. There's a process I want to take us into a little bit. I wanted to first check in with all of you and see, is there anything that you would love to hear more about? Is there anything you would love me to cover this evening, to talk about? Kind of over the Feeding the Ducks music. Turn that off. It's good while it lasted. Is there anything that you would love some support with, that you would love me specifically to talk about, to share about? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Seth Monk. I'm happy to serve you this evening on this call. I was a Buddhist monk for 8 years. Spent a lot of time, pursuing the path, pursuing spirituality, pursuing different teachers, and going to holy destinations. Lived in a monastery for almost a decade. And, I've got a lot of stuff back there that wants to come through. I actually just was receiving a network chiropractic session, and the doctor kind of was staring at me for a second. And he said, "Do you talk to your guides, your spirit guides?" And I was like, I think so. I don't know. And and he did this thing where he kind of like looked slightly above me, and I felt this pulsing here. It's interesting, almost like a magnet was pulsing, as if he was connecting to something right here. And then he said, "So when are you going to start teaching?" And the question kind of took me back, because I think I am teaching already. But when I thought more about it, I said, "Yeah, I'm holding a lot of space in Los Angeles, doing things like sound healings and kind of guided sessions, but I'm not teaching so much. I'm not sharing and speaking. It's more holding experiences for people, and it seems like I am being called to teach more. So I would love for these sessions to be a little, a balance, an important balance, where I get to share, teach. We all have things to teach and share. A portion where I get to share with you all some things that I've learned, that I know, that I've thought about, that I've heard about, figured out, that I haven't figured out, and then to also walk us through an actual process where we get to experience for ourselves, to embody, to do the work. As I once heard a teacher say, it's like if you get the medicine and you just read the bottle, and then you put the medicine back in the cabinet and walk away, you're not going to get better because you didn't take the medicine, right? So this needs to be one part understanding, one part reframing our brain, our understandings, and another part actually taking the medicine, actually doing the work. So we're here for both. John T. Griffith is saying, processing grief, going through divorce, and people committing suicide, friends. Well, let us take a moment. John, I just firstly want to acknowledge that the things you're talking about are some of the most challenging, difficult, painful things any human being can go through. Anybody in your position would be in a similar amount of pain, of grief. And on one hand, it's always helpful to understand that things are happening for us, meaning that for you personally on your personal journey, that people are exiting your life energetically, which will allow in new things. Whatever happens with the person who is divorcing you, with whatever happens with the friends who are deciding to leave this realm and go somewhere else, that is their journey, and that's happening for their learning and their growth and their evolution. I really want to encourage you to feel your feelings. As simple as that, to feel the grief, to feel the pain, to feel the sadness, to give yourself the grace and the space and the gentleness and the love to feel. I also want to encourage you, when you have the time and the space, and this could be when you're alone in the house or in your car, to let it out vocally, to as we say, to make the sound. To make the sound. It might sound like a scream, a yell, it might just be a release of energy through your mouth, but to let that through, to let that move through, to not hold it inside, and to trust, to really trust that that you are in process, right? That, in tarot cards, there's the tower, where it's this tower and it's burning down and all these people are kind of falling off it and lightning striking it. It's like everything is falling apart. But when you flip that card over, it's like the fire is beneath and the tower is going to crumble, but the people are flying up into the sky. And it's kind of like the phoenix, that as things in our life fall apart, it actually always is reforming. It's allowing our lives to reform in a way that better suits us to where we are now energetically. And the grief and the letting go of how things were, letting go of how things used to be and how things were, and the things that we liked and the things we missed. And also having to sit in the unknown of not having a new thing yet, not yet having a thing that that is there for us, is also challenging. To sit in the unknown, to sit in the void. If we think about life as seasons, there's a spring, a summer, a fall, a winter. So as we're in summer, everything's great and everything's blooming and it's warm, and and then suddenly it's fall and things are falling apart. The leaves are falling, things are dying, right? It sounds like you're in a fall, and then after the fall is the winter, when there's just this emptiness, this quiet, this nothingness, this space. And we don't know when the spring's coming. So some people, they sit in the winter for a while. They talk about dark night of the soul. That's when you're in an extended period of winter that really tests you, that really forces you to dig deep. And the thing about winter, what I learned, is that plants, although they die on the surface, the leaves fall and they kind of get brown. I guess they're already brown, but all of the energy is actually getting drawn down into the roots. And that deep and long winter, it's actually allowing the energy of the plants to rest, to restore, to regenerate, so that when the next spring does come, it allows all that energy to come up and out and then bloom. So just understanding that, you are in a season, as as we all know, we go through seasons, and different areas of our lives are in different seasons. Maybe our career is in its spring, but our relationships are in their fall. Different parts of us, maybe our health is in its winter, but our creative endeavors are in their summer, they're blooming. So really understanding and allowing these processes, and reaching out for support from those who you do still have a connection with, who are there for you, to also not have to be alone. Sometimes we can, and I'm guilty of this myself, try to regulate by ourselves too much. And sometimes we can actually allow ourselves to co-regulate more often, to connect to other people who can hold us, who can be there with us, friends, family. So yeah, just really, really just being gently and lovingly and gracefully in this process with yourself, and understanding that there's something that's moving through, and there's going to be also something on the other side of that there are always gifts, right? There's always gifts to be had on the other side of our wounds, the other side of our pain. All of you can reflect on this, that if you take the hardest things you've ever been through, and you see them as initiations, you can actually look at the gifts that arose on the other side. You can really see that, there was a you before and a you after, and there were definitely a lot of transformations that happened within you, and a lot of gifts that you received, and a lot of new understandings and insights. So actually the hardest things we go through often are the things that make us grow the most and learn the most and transform the most. And again, we get to choose how we frame things. So to see it as it's happening for me. It's happening for me to grow, to learn, to release, to let go, to step more, John, to step more into the man who you are, who you actually are now, in your full power and your full strength and your full clarity. When a relationship ends, it's time for us to more fully claim our lives and ourselves and connect to things that are resonating with who we are now versus who we were in the past. I sometimes say, if it's raining and you take an umbrella and you go outside and it's raining, and then you come back in and you go out tomorrow and it's sunny, but you still have the umbrella, and you just keep carrying this umbrella around. It made sense once upon a time. It made sense when it was raining. But do you still need that umbrella when it's sunny? Do you need that umbrella when you're lying in bed? And this is often an example I give about trauma, actually, is that we create these mechanisms and we hold on to things way past their usefulness. But relationships can also be the same way, that, we come together for specific reasons. And us and our partner, we're holding something together. It's the right moment, it's the right time, and we're both receiving something important from it. And then as life is changing and we're growing and learning and everything's shifting, there comes a time where you just don't necessarily need that anymore from that person. And that's totally cool. And that's normal. And, we grew up in a very till death do us part, happily ever after society. And we think things like divorce or breakups or death and sickness are bad or wrong or somehow but that's not the case. They're literally just the part of life. They're just, everything's, this is, the Buddha said, everything's always just kind of coming together and separating again. That's just this constant process, impermanence of arising and cessation, ceasing continuously. Every breath, receiving, releasing, forever. The universe, big bang, big collapse, big bang, big collapse, right? The heart, it's one movement that we will see everywhere on repeat. The expansion, the contraction, the blooming, the dying, again and again and again and again. Phil said, change changes. Explain yourself, Phil. Yeah, so thank you. Gail said she's going through a divorce also. John, you're crying. Very good. Very, 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 very good. I'm part of a men's group currently, and for men specifically, really learning to get with our feelings and to release them. It's culturally something that, gosh, we all need a lot more of. So really good job feeling that. Talking about it helps. Crying is good. It's important. So really just letting the feelings out. Okay, yeah. So thank you all for listening to that little monk rant. If there's anything else you'd love a little reflection on, I'm happy to give that. And otherwise, we can get to the main course of this evening. It kind of all fits together, to be honest. There's something that I've been kind of working with for myself, and as my professional life is building, and I'm seeing more and more people, and holding more kind of teachings and events and things. And the kind of question of what is my gift? What is the thing I want to give? What is the process I want to take people through? What is the experience? It for me kind of comes back to one thing. It actually all feels quite basic. And then there's just this core understanding, which I guess came from my own experience in meditation as a monk. And it could be as simple as saying oneness or unity. That, I often use the example of an ocean and the waves in the ocean. And if you look at the waves in the ocean, the waves all look like these individual things moving across the water, right? But the waves are also made of water. The waves are also the ocean. This wave is exactly the same as that wave. from its makeup, from its connected to the body of water. But they look differently. Each wave has its own unique expression, appearance. We humans, us, we are waves. We arose out of the everythingness of this universe, and we have this unique kind of characteristics and personality and identity and this whole song and dance and story of me. And eventually that wave also returns into the ocean. When we connect, however, to the makeup of it, we see that that wave is just water, and everything around it's water too. We humans are just universe. We are made up of all of the same stuff. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about that. A flower is water and sun and earth and a seed and time and space, and you put all these conditions together and it makes a flower. It makes a tree. But one of his famous sayings is that a tree is made of non-tree elements. I just want to see, does that make sense to you? A tree is made of non-tree elements. Give me like a thumbs up if you get that, or like a, I don't know, crying face if you don't get it. I don't know what the faces are. One that means you don't get it. I'll explain it anyway. If you were to take a leaf from a tree, and you were to crush it up and rub it, there would be moisture. That moisture is actually rain, right? That came down, and then the tree soaked it up. But what is rain? It was a cloud. And what is the cloud? It was the ocean or a river, and it got evaporated. And what was it before then? It was a spring coming out of the earth. What was it before then? Maybe it was rain. Maybe it was pee from a dinosaur. Who knows? But the fact is that if you look at a tree, everything you see, the green is from the sun, the nutrients are from the earth, the liquid, the water, the sap, it's all the waters, the rains, which are also all connected. So although a tree is a thing, it's made of different elements that have nothing to do with tree. Sun has nothing to do with tree. Earth has nothing to do with tree. Water has nothing to do with tree. Right? But when you put them all together with seed, with time, they become tree. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little more sense. So it's the same with us. This physical body, this beautiful man you see sitting in front of you, is the result of a lot of pizza and chai tea. And all of the material of this body is the things that I've eaten over my life, plus the genetic material of my parents and the water I've drank, which is, again, the rain and the things. And even when I'm sitting in a room with somebody, like I see Phil here, me and Phil have sat in a room together. We've talked, probably hugged, right? As I breathe out air, he's breathed that air in. So particles from my body have become the air, and then he's breathed it in, it's become a part of him. So I and him have exchanged direct physical properties in that sense, right? As have all of you, with everyone you've ever been around, molecules bouncing off things, right? But then even as I'm talking, my words, my ideas are going into your ear, metaphorically, vibrating the air, and going into your mind. As I speak, you're hearing me. You're processing it. You're having now thoughts. Your thoughts are reactions to my words. By me saying things in a certain way, by me explaining things, by me teaching, it's giving you new understandings. So are the understandings in your mind now you, or are they me? Are these your thoughts? Are these your understandings? Or is this me in your mind? The truth is, where did my understandings come from? It came from Buddha. It came from these teachers, came from observations. The fact is that even on a mental level, the same like rain and ocean and tree sap, it's all the same stuff. All of our minds are just these conditioned cycling things where we're just exchanging experience and information and impulse and emotion with each other. What's mine? What's my thought? What's my idea? What are my words? Even this language I'm speaking, English. Someone taught me that. That was from somebody else. That frames my whole way of thinking and experiencing reality as some created structure. So when we start getting down to it, again, this is just a Buddhist understanding of non-self. And it's that everything is made up of just components that came together. A rainbow is rain and sun and a specific angle that you happen to be at. And there's this thing called rainbow. And when the rain stops or the sun moves or you shift, that thing moves too. It dissolves. So rainbow exists just in this delicate balance of all these things exactly the right way, like a wave, like a body, like a Seth, like a Phil, like a marriage. All of this stuff is just phenomena rising, expressing, and falling away, spring to summer to fall to winter, again and again and again, forever. And that's the big one. That's the big teaching, right? That's the big cycle. That's the high level stuff. Both to hear that, to understand it, but then also to experience that, to start to embody that. These understandings, these teachings, they're not just to hear and to be like, wow, that's really good, and to write it down and then go to your Buddhist class and tell your friends, hey, did you know that a tree is, that doesn't help you if you haven't internalized it. Your heart has to break open. It's an easy way to say it. That you have to really experience these things in your life, that you have to just get to that level of acceptance. I had one happen where I was in the monastery and I saw a fly kind of flying on the window and it got stuck in a spider web. And me being a good monk, I was like, I'm going to go save that fly, right? So I went over and I started like kind of meticulously like removing bits of web from its wings. And then I had this moment where I was like, well, what about the spider? And I had some like whole thing where like the fly's the victim and the spider's the bad guy, and get the fly away from the spider who's going to kill it. But is it the spider's fault that it needs to eat? Is it the spider's fault it was born a spider? And by saving the fly, I'm killing the spider. Spider eats fly. Fly dies by spider. That's nature. And I just sat there staring at this web and I just started crying. Because I realized that one thing killing another thing, one thing eating another thing, one thing making another thing suffer, is built into the fabric of this reality. That is a part of nature. You see it on the Discovery Channel. That we talk about love and we talk about, care and compassion and all these things, and also recognizing and realizing that violence, that murder, are built into this reality. They are a part of this experience. And we have to accept that. Unless we save all the gazelle, which means then we're killing all the lions. Now we're the murderers. So breaking our concepts, breaking open our hearts, how we wish things would be. I want every being to be happy. I want every being to be safe. I want every being to be free. And the reality is that is not a reality. That can never be the case, because one thing has to eat another thing. So what can I do? What is there to do? What can I do? I cried. I let it open my heart more into love, into understanding, into compassion for everything, for everyone, for the whole situation. That maybe there is no bad guys. Maybe there is no victim, no killer and no killed. Maybe everyone is just in the same freaking game. You're either on one side or the other, but you're still stuck in the same thing. You're still just, the Buddha would say all of us are victims of this greater cycle that we're stuck in, that we have to play out these roles, that we have these bodies that need to be fed, that we have these generational things that are working through us. We have the society that we have to show up in a certain way, There's so much of who we are and what we have to do every day, and our unconscious, subconscious mechanisms that aren't even ours. We don't even know about. They don't even represent who we really are inside. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about here. How many times do I have a thought, or do I say something, and afterwards I'm like, that's not who I am. I don't want to say something like that. I don't want to think that. That's not. I don't want to be judging this person or criticizing it. That's not who I want to show up as. That we have thoughts, we speak words, we do actions that don't actually represent who we are as a whole, that don't represent our highest ideals and our morals and stuff. But they also do represent parts of us that maybe are still hurt, or are still savage, or are still, connected to pain that has been going on, again, long before any of us were even born. And so this deeper acceptance, really this deeper acceptance of the nature of reality, the nature of life, is necessary to be sane, for sanity. As Thich Nhat Hanh would sit and pray over his food and say, this bowl of food is a gift of the whole universe. It is the sun, it is the rains, it is the earth, it is from the sweat of the farmers, the truck drivers who brought it here, and the markets that got them, and the community who bought this food and brought it to us through the work that they do, and for all the monks for practicing and getting this food. This food is a gift to the whole universe. And he would hold that food in his hand and also say, and I acknowledge that today 100,000 children died of starvation. And he said he did that to keep himself sane, to remember the truth of this whole picture, the pleasure, the pain, the gain, the loss, the fame, the shame, that it's all there. The horror and the beauty both exist. When I was a monk, I wrote a poem actually about this, right after this. And I said in the poem, allow the world to touch your heart. To feel a pain it cannot stop. To feel a beauty it cannot keep. Allow the world to touch your heart. To allow your heart to be set free. Recognizing that the beauty of the sunrise, the beauty of nature, the beauty of the flowers, the beauty of the marriage, the beauty of the child are fading beauties, that we cannot keep any of it. To feel a beauty it cannot keep. You cannot keep any of it. To feel a pain it cannot stop. We cannot stop pain. We cannot stop loss. We cannot stop disappointment. We cannot stop sickness, illness, our bodies from aging. We cannot stop pain. Our skin is a big sensory organ. The biggest organ of the body is the skin. It's just feeling all the time. Do you realize that your body is always feeling things constantly? You're always just feeling. But we've had to tune that out because it would be too overwhelming to just be sitting there all the time like, oh my God, I just feel things. We have to function. So we tune out the feeling of the body to survive. And we have to see things. We're always seeing, we're always hearing, right? All the senses are always just on. So pain is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. And we, of course, do what we can to minimize pain and to not encounter pain. And simultaneously, when it's there, it is our responsibility to become skillful, to become skillful with how we experience that pain, how we deal with pain, how we receive pain. What is our relationship to pain as much as possible? And again, these are just words. These are just empty words, mean nothing. But when pain comes for you, and it will, and it does, and we're probably all in pain right now in different ways. And again, pain being a part, there's also pleasure, there's also beauty, there's also, it's the whole spectrum. You just don't usually have people coming on meditation saying, everything's too beautiful. What do I do? I need help. My life is too happy and beautiful, right? No, you have people saying, I have too much pain. I need help because of the pain, right? So the pain is the problem that we need help with. Everything's good. We don't need anything, right? But yeah, so getting with the pain. My men's group teacher, David Mailer, runs an organization called Man on Fire. He said, we suffer because we suck at suffering. He said, our emotions only need to last seconds to minutes, but because we don't feel them fully, they get stuck in us and they stay for a long time, longer than they need to, and we suffer more than we need to. I think the Buddha would agree with that statement as well, right? That we compound our pain by resisting it, by fighting it, by thinking it's wrong, like it shouldn't be there. Instead of just putting our hands in our body, feeling my heart, feeling my sadness, feeling my grief, feeling my loss, getting with it, getting with the feelings, right? Putting my hands in my solar plexus, feeling the loneliness, the aloneness, feeling scared and anxious and worried, knowing that I actually don't have any control. I don't have any control at all. I do my best, but, you know. And then sliding our hands all the way down to the belly button. And just feeling in there, just our wish for safety, security, like that womb space. And times where we feel overwhelmed, times where we just can't relax. Sometimes it feels like the pain will never end. Right? So just allowing ourselves to feel all the painful, all the scary, all the overwhelming things. But also recognizing by feeling it, by getting with those feelings, it starts to neutralize it. They start to lose their charge. And it starts to create space. We start to open up. Right? And then it's not so bad anymore. That sadness isn't so bad. If I every single day put my hands on my heart and breathe and I feel the feelings in my heart and I feel sadness, and if every single day I just wake up in the morning and I do a morning practice and I just feel, and I say, I feel sadness. Parts of me feel sad. Sometimes I feel sad. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. If you do that every single day, you know, you're going to really recognize and acknowledge your feelings, but also how much your feelings can have control over you after that. How much you're going to be running from feelings, how much your feelings going to control your life and your behaviors, right? And I'm saying it like this because this is my morning practice. That for the past 2 months, every single morning I wake up at 6:30, but start at 7, and I put my hands here and I feel the feelings and I speak them out. Put it on my solar plexus, feel the feelings. Put it on my belly button, feel the feelings. Getting in touch with the feelings that are stored in my body. Really basic stuff, but probably some of the most important stuff we could do. Those of you who have ever gone to a Vipassana meditation retreat, actually it's very similar. Have you sit there for 10 hours a day for 10 days, just feeling your body, feeling the feelings, going through the sensations within us. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you heard from all that. I don't even know if you're all still there listening. So give me some comments. Just let me know what you heard. What was your takeaway? What did I just say? What did that bring up for you? So just give me a little interaction. Also just want to see if like my StreamYard thing froze or if, you know, it's actually still still streaming. All right, so take a moment, give some feedback, write things. Just making sure we're still here. Did I freeze? Great. So here a lot to think about. Feel and accept everything that arises, honor all of life. Great. Yeah, it was a lot. Take it in. It's recorded. You can watch this again. You can share it. Spread the gospel of the monk. Let it out there. What's up, Melody? Okay, so let's get into some practice, everybody. I invite you to get into a position that feels comfortable and stable, whether that's sitting or laying down. Let's see what we can do today. So getting into a position that feels comfortable, stable, and let's try something. I'm going to invite you with your eyes closed in your comfortable, stable position, sitting or laying, to just bring both of your hands up. If you're sitting, your hands are going to go up above your head towards the sky. If you're laying down, they're going to go out in front of you. So just sticking your hands towards the sky, wherever the sky is in relation to you. I want you just to take a few breaths, reaching out past your fingers, connecting to the energy of the sky. Let's try breathing in through the mouth and breathing out through the nose. So we're doing things a little backwards with this one. So in through the mouth, out through the nose, reaching up into the sky, and just allow yourself to feel the energy of the sky as if you're able to receive it. Like a gentle rain, just the energy of lightness, the energy of space, of vastness. Just connecting to this energy, to this space that's bigger than us, vaster than us, which we are a part of, which we are connected to. One could even say connecting to the ocean outside of just the individual wave. Yeah, so just getting some good connections in, feeling that space above you, reaching up past the fingers, breathing, breathing, breathing. If your arms burn a little bit, it's okay. You've been through worse. But I invite you to ever so slowly just let your arms just slowly open up. Slowly begin to come down, just really, really slowly. And just imagine that you're pulling the sky energy down with it. Just creating this connection. Good job. Now feel like you're breathing. As you breathe, you could just breathe normally now, but imagine you're breathing this energy into your body. Nice. Yeah, breathing into your stomach. Good job, Phil. You can feel this. So Phil's actually quite grounded. So as he's breathing it down, that sky energy is really connecting with his grounded energy. Right? So I invite you all also to connect to the earth. So to allow this energy of space, of sky, to also just connect with your groundedness, which rests in your root chakra, so at the base of your spine. And just letting this mingle, letting the sky energy kind of just come down and mingle with the earth, with the stable, solid energy. That's right, Melody. Take some deep breaths. Gail, get more into the belly, just relaxing the chest a little bit. Sarah said, feel everything. So we're just going to feel everything around us. If you're sitting, you could feel your feet on the ground, feeling that connection to the ground. If you're laying down, just feeling that earth beneath you. So really being that middle point, that connection point between earth and sky. I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your stomach, to your solar plexus. See if you could breathe into that area and to relax that area a little bit. For guys like me and Phil, that area is a little bit tighter. We just see if we can breathe into that area right there. Kind of relaxing. Solar plexus is the seat of confidence, of expression, of emotional assuredness, capability, being able to affect your surroundings in the way that you need to get your needs met. Just allowing some softness to come in. And this is all kind of just willy-nilly today. I'm just listening to the field, just seeing what wants to be done. Breathing into your heart, bringing your awareness to your heart, softening the heart, breathing into the heart. As you're relaxing your heart, allowing your heart to soften. Starting to soften the barrier, the bridge, the boundary between your heart and the outside world. Softening specifically that barrier, that boundary. I'm going to use a little tool that I learned from Charlie the Healer. Just imagine that a shimmering golden light is just coming down from above you. Allowing shimmering golden light to come down and to enter into your body, whether it's through the top of your head, through your third eye, through your heart, whatever feels the best for you. Just allowing this golden shimmering light to begin connecting into your body. And this golden light is cleansing, clearing, shimmering, healing, pulsing love and light and goodness, this golden shimmering light. Is the frequency of oneness, of everythingness. It's a divine consciousness that we're allowing in for highest good, highest benefit, highest healing. And allowing this golden light just to move through the body, seeking out any places that are stuck, any emotions that need clearing. And just allowing this light to move through us wherever it needs to go. And just do the clearing, do the cleansing. Do the transforming. The more you can relax, the more you can let go, the more you can receive. The more you let go, the more you relax, the more you open, the more you can receive. The more you receive, the more can come in. The more that comes in, the more that can be released. The more that can be released, the more space you have, the more space you have, the more available you are to create. The more available you are to create, the more new things can come in. The more you can build, magnetize, envision the life of your dreams, your happiness. Just allowing this golden shimmering light in. All the organs, all the molecules, really just becoming it as much as possible. All the way down to our toes, really just filling up with this beautiful golden shimmering light, this active, alive light. Moving into the body, just healing, cleaning, vibrating, rubbing, clearing out all your energetic pathways, moving to all the stuck emotions, going through your chakra system, doing whatever work it needs to do, and also expanding through you to your parents, to the grandparents, your siblings, ancestral, allowing this light to move wherever it needs to in your ancestral lineage, and also allowing your mind, your memories to be flooded with this light, allowing any memory, any traumas, anything that's stuck, any worries about the past or the future, allowing this light to flow to those places. This light can simultaneously be with you when you were a child and be with you on your deathbed, letting it reach both of those places, getting this light everywhere, past, present, future, in all directions, allowing this light to flow to any situation you're struggling with right now. Just seeing whatever situation that is and just seeing this light flowing in there and flowing into all the people involved, just getting all up in that whole thing, creating new networks like Spider-Man came in there and just started shooting gold and white webbing everywhere and just covering the whole thing. And this healing energy, just transforming light. Connecting all estranged parts of ourselves, of our lives, of our consciousness, of our past, of our future, in all dimensions, allowing for wholeness, allowing for healing, allowing for coming together of the completeness of ourselves, allowing the ability to show up fully, allowing ourselves, making a commitment to really be here, to do this human thing fully, to really utilize this life in a full way, in a good way, to recognize we can fall off, that we get stuck in patterns, that we get lost and blind, that's fine, and yet showing up again and again. And just spreading this light, this goodness, allowing this to move through you, to move through your life. This is such an opportunity to be here. We have such an opportunity to be here. Being here is such an opportunity. It is such a gift. Being here is such a gift. It is such a gift to be here with such an opportunity. Being here is such an opportunity. This is such a gift. Really remembering that. Allowing yourself to show up more fully for yourself, in your life, for others. Being vulnerable, being open, being strong, saying your yeses, saying your nos. Getting your voice out there into your life, taking up your space. That's your space, taking up your space in your own life. Not playing Mr. Nice Guy or Mrs. Nice Girl. Allowing yourself just to be you, to be human. You're a good person. You deserve to be seen and heard and held. Our shadow sides, the parts of us that feel shameful, that we're guilty of, that we hide, that we suppress. Allowing ourselves to acknowledge and accept our humanity, our shared humanity, that we all have it. Knowing that by letting the insides out, we create connection, we feel safer, we feel seen, we feel more loved. By giving others the parts of ourselves that we have trouble loving, maybe, just maybe, we'd be surprised and see that they do love us regardless. Probably people in your life who love you already see your shadow side and they still love you. You're probably doing a horrible job at hiding it. People around you probably still love you, even though they see your shortcomings. They still love you despite them, through them, maybe even because of them. The parts of you that you can't love, there's people around you right now, or that were, or that will be, that love you, even with those parts, through those parts, regardless of those parts. So really just receiving that fully. The fullness of our lovability, the fullness of our worthiness. And just breathing in, allowing just this feeling of light just to fill our whole auric field. It's like an arm's length in all directions, including above us, just this arm's length all around us, like a big egg, just filling with light, filling with peace, filling with relaxation, filling with healing, just letting it come in, letting ourselves receive. We deserve to receive. We don't have to do anything for it. That was false programming from our parents. Love is not conditional. Love is abundant and present and immediate. It is right here all the time for us. Once we allow ourselves to receive it, once we tune our radio to that frequency, it is right there. Taking some deep breaths. Getting all that good stuff into your body. Let's just take a moment. And just feeling a sense of relaxation and a sense of quietness, a sense of peace. Listening to that, receiving that. Letting that also pervade deeply into our nervous system, to our mental system, emotional system, our energetic systems, our karmic systems, our familial systems, our dimensional systems, our past lives, our future lives, higher and lower dimensions, allowing that to go into our complete chakra system. Allowing all the molecules of our body to resonate with this vibration, allowing our resonance, our body, our vibration to entrain those around us, that they shift to match our frequency, that we stop matching our frequency to those and other vibrations. Stop entraining our nervous systems to those who are in pain. Allow them to entrain themselves to us. Allow them to develop the trust. Allow them to step forward. Allow ourselves to stay connected to the vibration we want to be in and allow that to be projected into our lives. Allow others to step up into that, to step into their own sense of safety, of groundedness, of peace, of happiness. They have this ability if they simply chose it. Maybe if they simply believed it was possible. Maybe if they allowed it. If they got out of their own way. If they released their pride and their stories and their doubts. And their blame and their shame. So just allowing this to settle into our system strong, like strong armoring, not because we need to fight, not because we're at war, just because we know who we are, we become solid. I want you to take a couple last really deep breaths, breathing in super deep through the nose, as deep as you can. Deepest breath you've taken all day today. deep, deep, deep into your belly, filling that belly up, and then even sipping a little more air after. Holding it. And then releasing it. Good job. I invite you just to stretch out like a morning stretch, like unwrapping, unwinding all of your tendons, your arms, your legs, just giving yourself some nice stretches, letting this energy really activate through your energy fields, through your nerves, through your muscles, through your tendons, through your body. Giving yourself a little shake. You can hug your knees to your chest if you're laying down, or stretch around, whatever you need. Coming back to yourself, and whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes, returning to this room, to this dimension, to this space. If you fell asleep, that is fine. When I end the video, it will end for you. If you're watching this on replay, it's still working for you. It doesn't matter. This is an open portal, so you will receive these same benefits. And if you comment in the comments, I will be reading those comments too, regardless. So feel free to still connect through time and space. We are still connected, especially on Facebook. And if you are here for this meditation, hi, welcome back. Welcome back to this space, to this call, to your room or car or whatever. And please leave some comments. Please let me know what that was for you, what you experienced. Give me a few sentences if you can. We just did a lot, and if you're still in it, that's cool. I know it's hard to suddenly have to talk after shutting off the part of the brain that's used for talking and thinking. They've actually done studies with meditators, and they found that their brains are not actually, they thought maybe their brains are going to be like really active during meditation. It was the opposite, that there's almost no activity in certain parts of the brain, including the part that is involved with speech, which is also why our thoughts stop, and also the part of the brain that has to do with spatial relations. So that's also why when you meditate, you sometimes feel this like floating, like space feeling, because it actually slows down and even almost like shuts off parts of the brain that are used for the outward directed stuff, right? Talking, space, right? That when you shut down, the consciousnesses actually retract inward. So science is now backing up what, I was taught in the monastery, that the consciousnesses actually turn inwards. And that's why we lose all of the outward senses, because they connect in. Gail said, thank you. It was the best. Peace. I don't know if that meant you felt peace, or you're saying peace like bye, but peace is good. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Facebook user, who it's not showing me who you are. Oh, maybe it's Mary Beth. I bet it's Mary Beth. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Gail. Very powerful healing. Appreciate it. Great. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is really awesome for me as well. This is a really beautiful offering. And, to be honest, if I had it my way, I would just do this every day. If I could make my living on this, I would just do this every day. And I really enjoy the freedom to just follow my own curriculum, the freedom to say what I want to say, to really just be myself, to make this as long as I want, to not have these every yoga studio I teach at has these very specific parameters of what you can and can't say, what you can and can't do, the amount of time. It's all very which is fun and it's interesting. It's like a puzzle. How do I get people there within a very specific framework? But stuff like this where I can just be here. I can just do it, show up, deliver, be here as long as I want, say whatever I want, really connect with all of you. It just feels good. It's really rewarding. So I want to thank you all for also tuning in. There's a lot that people could do with their lives in any given moment. There's a lot going on the internet. You could find anything you wanted on this computer or phone. So the fact that you're taking this hour to be with me, is really meaningful. I don't take that lightly. You literally could be looking at anything else right now. Any movie you could ever want to watch. You could be learning anything you want. You could be watching cats jumping and fighting other cats dressed as dragons. You could be looking at naked people doing anything imaginable. But you're choosing to sit and meditate with me here tonight, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'm still, if anyone has any last thoughts, anything you want to share, anything you want my reflection on, cool. Again, I will read all the comments afterwards, so I will be able to respond to you in the future. So feel free to comment regardless of when you're watching this. Let me know what's up with you. Mary Beth says she's surprised at how tense her stomach was. Much more relaxed now. Good. Yeah. Yeah, you're not alone in that. Yeah, as we get in touch with our bodies, we see, whoa, I've been holding stuff in there, all day long, all lifetime long. Oh, for the past 50 years, I've been holding fear in that spot, and I didn't realize it. Better late than never. And the quicker that we start getting with those emotions stuck and held in the body, we start releasing them, working with them, feeling them, and letting them through, and then they won't make us sick, because that's how you get sick. Holding emotions in the body. If you're into Chinese medicine, every emotion is connected to an organ, and every organ and emotion have like their elements and their themes, and it's kind of one of those things that when we're not dealing with our stuff, it starts to affect our physical body. So yeah, you're doing this for your body too, for your body, for your mind, and we also just did healing a little bit into the generations, into your surroundings, into the people in your life. So just know that you just did something that was actually pretty powerful, and go slow, and maybe drink some tea or water, and be gentle with yourself and rest a little bit. And as I mentioned, also, I want to hammer home this point about entrainment. And it might be too early for you guys for this right now. Maybe you would need like a lot more consistency of training sessions. But starting at least to observe how your body, your energy, and your mind, when you interact with people and certain people, that you shift to match them, that you shift, that they can understand you, that they can feel connected to you, that just notice when you're able to stand in your center and people come to you, or when you find yourself shifting to other people's energies, and become conscious of that. Because if it's somebody who I want to be like if I saw the Buddha walking down the street, I would try to entrain my nervous system to his. I would try to like feel what is he. I'd just totally be like, all right, like what? Like I just let my entire body and nervous system just resonate with his vibration, because I just trust that he's got it. But what we often do is we do it the opposite way. Is that if there's somebody who's angry, right, who's in pain, I actually have like a quick funny story before we go. This is actually I forgot about this today. Today I went to Sprouts supermarket, and I got a sandwich, and the parking lot was like super full, and it was this whole thing. So I like parked my car in this kind of like weird like angle where I was like out of the way, like cars could go around, but it wasn't like a real spot, right? But I just wanted to stop somewhere just to sit and eat my sandwich, and I didn't want to like take up a real spot, and so it, like besides breaking the rules, I actually didn't do, I was still in a spot that allowed the parking lot to function. And as I'm sitting there eating my sandwich, and I think I was studying Chinese on my phone, I just hear somebody talking, and I look up, and there's this guy with his camera at me, his phone camera on me, and he's saying, and here we have another example of somebody who doesn't know how to park, and and he's like giving this whole, and he's got this like card in his hand, and he's talking, and I'm just like watching this, like, what is going on? He's like walking like around my car, and And I just kind of started laughing, I was just like, what is this? And then I kind of see like the card in his hand, and it says like you are a terrible Parker. And I was like, oh, it's like a whole thing that he's. And then I like opened the door of my car, and I'm like, do I get that card? And he's like, you sir. And he like holds my phone up. He's like, this is not a parking spot. Like, will you do this again in the future? And I was like, will you park better in the future? And I was like, no. He said, no, why not? And I was like, I think this is an okay place to eat a sandwich. And he goes, this place? And he goes around the car and shows it. This is an okay place to eat a sandwich. Well, you heard it here first, and then he ends the thing, and I just start laughing, and I just like reach out my hand, and I'm like, hi, I'm Seth, and he said his name was like Tim, and I was like, can he give me the card? And I was like, what is it? And he's like, yeah, I have a TikTok channel. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, I want to see it. He's like, yeah, you'll be on tomorrow. I was like, great. I was like, how many videos do you have? He's like, oh, like 40. And I was like, oh, neat. Like, awesome. Like, congratulations, and then he kind of just like gets taken aback because he realized, oh, like I'm being friendly. And he thought that he was like shaming me and that, I was going to be aggressive or something. And I was just like, I think this is hilarious. Like, I think this is just like really funny and ridiculous. And then he kind of just like stopped, and he looked at me. He's like, thank you for being such a good sport. And I was like, yeah, I mean, sure. And it was just funny moment where I really saw that, I didn't let him entrain me. I didn't go after his energy. I didn't play the other end of, I did something. You're bad. I'm not bad. You're bad. Like whatever, probably other people would feel violated or shame, and I was like, this is hilarious. Like, you're ridiculous. And like, I'm not afraid of like a TikTok channel of me eating a sandwich in my car, and I saw that it flipped his energy, that he then suddenly was like, oh, like you're a nice guy. Like, okay. It's like, suddenly there was just no animosity. And I really liked that. I just thought it was like really neat. And like, yeah, I think the thing he's doing is, also a part of me is like, this is kind of like stupid, and it's definitely gonna like piss people off. And it's not like, there's definitely negativity involved within it. Right. But simultaneously I was like, I don't care. And I don't need that to affect me. Um, and, and it was just cool to just experience how, when I just stay in my energy, other people flip into that, because the energy that I'm holding is an energy of connection and love and peace and kindness, and like, hey brother, hey friend, like I don't have any bad wishes on anybody. I'm not trying to judge anyone or tell anyone else what to do, or that's his own world and his own show and his own karma, and his own unhealed parts acting out, and that's got nothing to do with me. So just look at yourself tonight, even the next person you see, or throughout the day, and just see, how you entrain your nervous system after other people. You train yourself to follow their lead into heaviness, into stuckness, into like a problem or a thing. And even some people, they'll try to like, if they can't guilt you, if they can't bring you down there, they'll get mad at you. And you'll start to see this. There's people that if you do not go where they want to take you, they will blame you and get mad at you. It's this whole thing, right? Because suddenly it forces them maybe to have to face themselves, feel their pain, to acknowledge that maybe they're not doing things in a healthy way, So it gets really fascinating when we start to claim ourselves, our emotions, our vibrations again. So I just want to encourage that, it's that might be a little far out for you, but at least start noticing how the next person you see, if you're shifting yourself into a lower, heavier vibration to match them or to connect with them or to give them something, or if you're able to stay in happiness and connection and love and joy, and if you can create that vibration, or at least just hang out there and not need to be where they are, and they're invited to rise to the occasion. And if not, it's cool. You can still love them and talk to them, and no judgments. It's just like, I don't need to feel like that right now, so I'm just going to keep being happy. And that's not selfish, that's loving, So yeah, just things to think about, things to feel about. I'm curious to know how that goes. So I think at an hour and 14 minutes, 75 minutes, it's an okay time to say goodbye. Good night and thank you. If you wish, I am open and happy to receive donations. I have a Venmo and a PayPal in my Facebook profile, and you can just send whatever feels good, whatever this felt like was worth to you, or if you want to support me, I'd appreciate that. Definitely gives me more motivation. But regardless, I am going to show up every Tuesday night and do this for you guys. So thank you all for joining, and have a beautiful evening. See you again next Tuesday. Spread the word. Feel free to share this on your wall or with anyone that feels like might need this. I'd love to get this going. So otherwise, yeah, thank you all so much and have a beautiful night.